The voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM, Indiana in the Morning, brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank. Time again for Martial Law with Marshall Chriswell. Remember that this program is intended to be for informational purposes only. This information does not constitute legal advice. The law is constantly changing, and the information may not be complete or correct depending on the date and your particular legal problem. Now, each legal problem depends on its individual facts, and different jurisdictions have different laws and regulations. Now, because of these differences, you should not act or rely on any information in this segment without seeking the advice of a competent attorney licensed to practice law in your jurisdiction for your particular problem. Marshall, good morning and welcome once again.
Good morning.
Now, we talk about how things are constantly changing in the world of law. That includes technology, correct?
That's right. Yeah, and normally on this segment, we focus on a particular area of law or, a particular case or legislation. But today I just wanted to talk about how technology can be used by a law firm to make our practice and our services more efficient, more cost-effective for our clients, because it's something that I've really focused on. And just to tell you kind of what got me thinking about this, in the past couple of weeks, I've been dealing with some other firms on matters. These firms represent other clients and working with them on some cases. And I realized that, man, lawyers, maybe worse than anybody, they just do not adapt to technological changes very well. You're kind of dragging us kicking and screaming into the 21st century. And in this case, I was dealing with attorneys who, number one, don't use email, have never used email, only communicate via regular mail, via fax, things like that just make things, it makes it so less efficient and so much more expensive for their clients. So I was thinking, well, hey, what do we do? Because I think at my firm, we've done a pretty good job of maintaining efficiency through using technology. And one thing is that communication. We are able to, with our clients and with other firms, it is, we use email, we use text messaging, we use all kinds of ways that we can communicate with people. The other thing is keeping electronic files. Every file in our office every piece of paper that comes into our office is digitized. So, normally you think of the law firm that has filing cabinets everywhere and big, thick paper files that we're carrying around all the time and things. We don't have that. We're able to save costs on just the amount of square footage that we have to have in our office. And then also we're able to share documents much more quickly with our clients, get things to them so that they can make decisions more quickly regarding their cases and get things resolved more efficiently.
Now, I would think that research, instead of going and pulling out one of those big law books,
that's right,
that information would be online as well. That's
right. And again, the quintessential law firm, right? What do you picture? You picture the bookshelves lining the walls with every statute, all the federal and state statutes and all of the case law and the treatises and law review journals and everything that you need to be able to effectively research to advocate your client's position. Don't have any of that. I've got one bookshelf in my office. It's got a couple of, it's got a few things on it, but in reality, everything is done online. So all of the research, we subscribe to research methods that are online, whether it's LexisNexis and all those kinds of things that enable us to do that without taking up all the floor space. And also those subscriptions, whenever, as you say, things are constantly changing. The law constantly changes as far as statutes being passed, being amended, case law that comes down from appellate courts. So in the old days, you'd have all these books, and every couple of months you would have to get updates, and they would send you new paper updates, and then every few years you would buy the whole set again. And now we don't have to do any of that.
Are you permitted to use electronic devices in the courtroom?
It depends on where you're at. Depends on where you're practicing. Most courts, and again, for good reasons, sometimes security and other things, courts have been slow to adapt to technological changes. But now, most courtrooms I go into will permit a laptop, will permit a tablet device. Not everywhere can you connect to the internet still. In the courtroom, they don't have public Wi-Fi available. But most judges aren't going to give you a hard time if you pull out a laptop and pull up some documents.
Marshall Chriswell with us this morning on Indiana in the Morning. It's Martial Law. Of course, you want to stay up to date with the latest information from your clients and those that you are working with. And I would think, the electronic devices gives them the opportunity to give you a text or a cell phone call when there's a bit of information that you need to have.
That's right. And now that everybody, obviously carries a phone, you've got your electronic device right there. So we use apps that enable us to share your case documents. It used to be I would get an order from the court related to your case. I would review it. I would draft a letter. I would mail this letter to you. A few days later, you would get it. And 3, 4, 5, 6 days after this court order is entered, you find out that you have it, or unless I give you a call ahead of time. But now I can share that document with you, whether it's via email or through a secure link, depending on the type of information it is. And also, we have documents that we create a lot of times that we have to have our clients sign, whether it be the retainer agreement at the beginning of our services, the contract that lays out the terms of my service. We can actually send that over and clients can sign electronically. So there are lots of things that we can have the clients sign electronically, which means they don't need to come into the office. They don't need to have a separate meeting where we sit down and do that. We can have either a quick phone call or just do it via email. Saves the client money in the long run and saves time.
And it would also help out keeping you connected with information that's obtained inside the Indiana County Courthouse that you need as well. Any new additions?
That's right. And it's one thing that's nice is a lot of county courts now, state and federal, at the state appellate level and the federal level, they've been doing this for a while. But now most of the county courthouses are publishing online the documents that are filed in each case, keeping the case dockets online. And there's some limitation for confidentiality and things like that. But for the most part, in a regular civil case that's filed here in Indiana County, I have a subscription that I can go ahead into the prothonotari's, the clerk's docket, and I can see everything that was filed. I can download those. So if somebody comes to me with a new matter, if I get a call and I have a client coming in for a consultation, and they say, well, this has already been filed in court, and we want to talk about retaining you for this, I can go online right then. I can pull it up. I can talk to them about it and see exactly where they are procedurally in their case. Again, before the advent of that technology, I would have had to go to the courthouse. I would have had to pull all the documents or send somebody to do that. There would have been a time and an expense associated with it. So again, saving money.
Now, Marshall, do you find that our local judges are keeping up and using electronic information as well? What you can see? Yeah,
I know that the judges do all, for the most part, can do all their research online, and they've really, like I said, Indiana County, unlike some of the other counties around, really has embraced this, making things available electronically. So I think in that way, the judges have shown that they're definitely on board with making things as efficient as possible through that. And some of the larger counties have electronic filing. So if we are filing a case in another county that has that, we will use electronic filing rather than having to go down and file something in their courthouse by hand, or mailing it for filing. So some counties have that as well, and hopefully someday we'll have that here in Indiana County.
Now, it also makes it easier for just the average citizen if they need to look up some information concerning some trials or things that have taken place. They can go online and check that out as well. Right?
That's right. They can go and through There's a state website that allows you to view lots of different types of cases, particularly civil and things that are filed in magisterial district court, because that's all under one computer software system. So that's all loaded in. You can view every magistrate's course in the case in the entire county on that site, and then all criminal cases. So technology has made information more available to all of us.
Now, to go online to get in contact with your office, folks would go to?
Sure, you go to www.westernpalawyer.com. You can also give me a call at 724-465-5826. And before we go, I just have one other quick note, and I'll mention this again next time I'm on. But November 5th, I am going to be giving a presentation on estate planning, and it's sponsored by the Hillsdale Personal Care Home, Aristocare at Hillsdale Park, and it will be held November 5th, 6 p.m. at the Clymer Church of the Resurrection Rec Center. So, and that's free, that's open to the public, and I just wanted to throw it out there.
What day of the week is that?
November 5th, I'd have to double check. I think it's either a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Okay, so I
think it's a Wednesday.
Folks who would have any questions, and a lot of people have to go through that, and everybody should, as you've mentioned many times in the program, should have a good, solid estate plan put together. Again, the date and time?
November 5th at 6 p.m.
Okay, you can join Marshall and ask him questions if you need to, and keep up to date with him, of course, electronically, and give him a call if you need him at 465-5826. We'll be checking news. That report from Fox on the way, Josh with Indiana County News, and then Jack will look at morning sports, all coming up shortly.
Gwen Stefani returns to The Voice with Blake Kelly and John Legend. Will there be fireworks between Gwen and her man Blake?
You want to fight, Blakey?
Why are you